So here's a picture of a place where I can now say that we've made a major discovery. Our company's only a year old, but I actually drilled into this nickel deposit way back in 1995 when I was a young geologist with the biggest nickel mining company in the world. And we didn't recognize it back then as a discovery because the concentration of the mineralization wasn't all that strong. But it turns out that it's a huge, continuous slab of mineralized rock sitting just out there under the ground in front of that drill rig. 8 billion pounds of nickel is already documented in the ground after just 1 year of drilling. So why nickel? Jeff mentioned that he really likes nickel. It's used primarily for stainless steel, still is, and it's an amazing metal. It's got quite a variety of uses, but now it's got a whole new use, and that's in batteries, rechargeable batteries. They call them lithium-ion batteries, but the reality is there's a lot more nickel in them than lithium. And I can tell you that nickel is a lot harder metal to find than lithium. So whether it's your phone or your laptop or your electric vehicle or the buses and trucks that we're likely to have in the coming decades, or the huge grid-scale storage batteries that we're likely to build, there's a lot of nickel in these. It's a whole new use, and it's going to make the demand much, much bigger than it is now. So far, though, the price of nickel is not that strong. Indonesia's ramped up production. It's keeping the price low right now, but that won't last. I think back to 2005 when the predictions were that nickel would never go up again. Well, the next thing you know, it had doubled in price. And I think this big metal super cycle is coming, and that nickel will definitely be there with it. The United States certainly recognizes that nickel and lithium are crucial elements for an electrical energy transition, but the United States is vulnerable. It could get cut off from all those metals shown as the red bubbles, but nickel and lithium are in particular. So I think having a huge deposit of nickel and other critical metals on U.S. soil is going to be a very attractive thing that the U.S. government will support. So I've got a great team. We know how to execute excellent exploration projects in Alaska, an excellent board that I think prepares us very well for going into the permitting phase on development of this project. But here's the basics on the capital structure, and that's an ugly stock chart. There's no two ways about it. You want to talk about volatility, but the only good thing I can say about it is one heck of a buying opportunity for investors that want to come in now. We're trading around 15 cents, 89 million shares out. We've got $1.2 million in the bank, and so that means we're doing a financing now. If you'd like to participate in it, let me know. But this is a great entry point on a volatile stock that's made a major discovery and has the opportunity for a high-grade drill hole discovery this summer. So the project's in a great spot. I live in Anchorage, Alaska. It's about a 6-hour drive to the project site, so it's quite accessible. Zooming in, Delta Junction's the closest place, about 80 kilometers away from our claim blocks. Canwell, where we have really high-grade prospects at surface, and Eureka, where we've discovered this gigantic lower-grade nickel deposit. It's in a really permittable place. I don't anticipate that there's any game stoppers in development of a major mine here. And like I say, we've discovered a major resource with just one season of drilling, and the historical holes, some of it which I drilled myself way back in the 90s, we were able to calculate a resource, a deposit that's over 4 kilometers in length. It's not high grade, around 0.29% nickel equivalent, but already we've laid out decades of material that can be mined. And pay attention to those pink and red spots because the grade is higher there. And we can mine that early in the sequence at a 0-to-1 strip ratio. That's to say we won't have to move any waste rock to be mining the very best part of the deposit. And then that's going to allow us to pay back the capital more quickly, which is really important for these long-lived, multi-decade mine life projects. In cross-section, so a vertical slice through the earth, there's that pink zone. The pink and red is higher grade. It comes right to the surface of the earth. This is a huge deposit. It's over 300 meters thick. It's open in all directions. We've drilled 4 kilometers, but I can trace it for over 12 kilometers of strike. So this is really what big mining companies want, and I suspect that we'll have a strategic partner on this project sometime soon. This is what it looks like. It's just a black rock with flecks of disseminated nickel sulfide spread throughout, a little bit of copper and cobalt, platinum and palladium as well. So it's going to be super important to know the recoverability of those metals. We're doing those tests now. But what we do know is that most of the nickel is in the form of the common sulfide mineral pentlandite, which is great because it's readily recovered by standard methods. So we think we'll have good recovery rates. So the plan is simple. We need to extend this deposit and make it bigger, but pay particular attention to that higher grade zone. Trace it out to the southeast and increase the grade of the deposit, make that initial starter pit bigger. But if we do that, if we extend the deposit about 1 kilometer to the southeast, and I can say with great confidence that we will do that because there's a couple of historical holes that tell me the deposit keeps going, and I've got high-grade surface samples. So I know the high-grade core zone is going to continue to the southeast. So even just with a few drill holes, I'm going to be in the top of our peer category. Canada Nickel is the best comparison for us. Their market cap's $250 million. Ours is 14. But in terms of size of deposit, we will be as large as Canada Nickel by the end of this year. And we have a deposit that's higher grade in an excellent configuration for an open pit mine with a high grade core that can result in rapid payback. So I think here's your value proposition. We've got something that's as good as Canada Nickel, but we're 1/20th of the market cap. So lots of room to move up on the volatility. The other thing you mentioned, Robert, that you love is high grade discoveries, and there's nothing like high grade. And we have some excellent prospects of very high grade material on our Canwell block, and I cannot wait to drill these prospects this summer. We did a lot of work last summer doing the geophysics to tell us where to drill, and now we're ready to drill. And you can see that one prospect called Odie, and I can't wait to drill that one. I'm going to show you a cross section next, right through it. And so you can see here's the surface of the earth. Here's where our geologists have collected high-grade massive sulfide like you saw in the prior picture. And we've done the geophysics. These bright pink areas tell us that there's metal in the ground right underneath those surface samples. And way back in '97, I drilled that hole, got nickel, but clearly I should have drilled into these pink areas, and we'll do that this summer. If we hit high-grade massive nickel sulfide, I think it'll do really good things for our stock. All right, that's it. Thank you very much.